Welcome back to the Daily Principle. Today, we're uncovering a powerful truth that many successful people live by, but rarely talk about. Why your biggest goals should grow in silence, and how protecting your vision can become the key to achieving extraordinary success. What if the fastest way to achieve your biggest dream is to stop talking about it? Every time you announce your plans, you may be giving away the very energy that should be fueling your progress. The world's greatest transformations often happen in complete silence. In this video, you'll discover why keeping your goals private can become your greatest advantage, and how silence can quietly lead you to extraordinary success. Success grows best in silence. Not because it should be hidden, but because real progress needs time, patience, and protection. Just like a seed develops beneath the ground before anyone sees it, meaningful success begins quietly. It doesn't seek applause or constant attention. It simply grows until the results become impossible to ignore. Yet many people feel the urge to announce every goal, every plan, and every dream before they've taken the first real step. Maybe it's the desire for encouragement, recognition, or approval. The problem is that talking too much about your plans can reduce the drive needed to accomplish them. The excitement of sharing often replaces the satisfaction that should come from doing. Over the years, I've watched talented people with incredible ideas lose momentum before they ever got started. They spoke about their ambitions to everyone around them, exposing fresh dreams to doubt, criticism, and endless opinions. Little by little, their enthusiasm faded until the vision that once inspired them quietly disappeared. That's why it's wise to protect your goals during their early stages. This isn't about being secretive, it's about being intentional. Put more energy into action than conversation. Let your effort receive your attention instead of seeking validation from others. In the end, people remember achievements, not promises. There's an interesting connection between intention and action. Every time you tell people what you're going to accomplish, you receive a small emotional reward. You say you're starting a business, getting healthier, or pursuing a new opportunity, and people congratulate you before you've done the work. That approval feels satisfying, but your mind can mistake it for actual progress. Without realizing it, the urgency to act begins to fade because you've already experienced part of the reward. Of course, accountability has value, but only when it's shared with people you deeply trust. Not everyone will understand your vision. Some will question your abilities, others will project their own fears, and a few may unintentionally fill your mind with doubt. Even silent skepticism can weaken confidence if you allow it. This doesn't mean you should never discuss your goals. It simply means you should choose carefully who earns the right to hear them. Share your ideas with mentors and people who genuinely want to see you succeed. Even then, allow your vision room to grow before exposing every detail. Young dreams need protection, just like young plants need shelter before they become strong. There is also incredible power in surprise. Imagine quietly working on a goal for months without announcing every step. Then one day, you reveal the finished result. That accomplishment carries far more impact because your actions speak for themselves. Results create respect in ways that words never can. I once knew a man who constantly talked about the successful business he was going to build. Every conversation was filled with exciting plans, yet months passed without real progress. Eventually, people stopped believing his words. And sadly, he did too. Then I met another man, a farmer with a simple dream of improving his family's land. He didn't make speeches about his plans. He studied, learned, experimented, and worked every day while no one was paying attention. When harvest season arrived, the quality of his crops amazed everyone. People asked for his secret, and he simply smiled because his success had been built quietly, one day at a time. That's the lesson. The less time you spend talking, the more time you have to improve. The less you depend on outside approval, the stronger your confidence becomes. Protect your dreams until they're strong enough to stand on their own. The world is already filled with distractions, opinions, and constant noise. When you share your goals too early, you invite all of that into your journey. Some people will doubt you, Others may envy your ambition. Even those with good intentions can overwhelm you with conflicting advice that pulls you away from your original vision. Every opinion has the potential to plant uncertainty, and uncertainty is one of the fastest ways to lose momentum. That's why protecting your focus is one of the smartest decisions you can make. Create a quiet space where your goals can develop without unnecessary interference. Think of it as building a greenhouse around your dreams. Give them the time, care, and consistency they need. Then, when the moment is right, let your success do all the talking. Give your dreams the environment they need to grow. Just as a young plant needs protection before it can survive strong winds, your goals need time, focus, and patience before they're exposed to outside opinions. One of the greatest advantages you can build during that time is momentum. Momentum is created when you consistently take meaningful action. Every completed task makes the next one a little easier, and before long, you've built a rhythm that carries you forward. That rhythm is strongest when you stay focused on the work instead of talking about it. The moment you begin explaining your plans to everyone around you, your attention shifts away from execution. You spend valuable energy describing what you're going to do instead of actually doing it. It's like stopping every few miles on a journey just to tell people where you're headed. Eventually, you lose speed and sometimes even your motivation. I remember a friend who always dreamed of writing a book. Instead of announcing it, he quietly committed to writing 500 words every single day. No public updates, no constant discussions, just consistent effort. Month after month, he stayed disciplined. When the manuscript was finally complete, he shared it with a few trusted people, and they were amazed, not only because of the quality of the book, but because he had accomplished it without seeking attention along the way. When it was published, the work spoke for itself. Another friend had the same dream, but took a different path. He spent months talking about his book, sharing ideas, asking for opinions, and discussing chapters he hadn't written yet. The conversations became a substitute for progress. His excitement slowly disappeared, and eventually, the project was abandoned before it ever became real. The lesson is simple. Action builds confidence, while endless discussion often creates hesitation. Every time you follow through on a commitment, you prove to yourself that you're capable. Confidence grows through evidence, not conversation. But when you stay in the world of ideas without taking action, your goals remain possibilities instead of achievements. Some people believe keeping plans private makes them seem distant or secretive. That's not the case at all. Discretion is about protecting your focus, not hiding from others. Your dreams are valuable, and they deserve the chance to develop before they're exposed to outside influence. Imagine planting a garden. You wouldn't invite everyone to walk across the soil before the seeds had even begun to grow. You would care for it quietly until those first signs of life appeared. Your goals deserve the same treatment. Give yourself room to learn, improve, and adjust without feeling pressured by other people's expectations. Here's a challenge. The next time inspiration strikes, resist the urge to announce it. Write your goal down, create a simple plan, and begin working in silence. Let your progress become your announcement. Your greatest satisfaction should come from what you've accomplished, not from what you've promised. There's something incredibly freeing about moving quietly. When you stop looking for approval, you stop carrying the weight of other people's expectations. You're free to experiment, make mistakes, and improve without feeling like every setback is being watched. Success is rarely a straight path. There will be obstacles, adjustments, and lessons along the way. Keeping your plans private gives you the freedom to learn from those moments without unnecessary pressure. It creates space for growth and helps you trust your own judgment instead of constantly depending on outside opinions. Of course, feedback has value. The key is knowing when to ask for it and who to ask. Early in the journey, protect your vision. Once you've built something meaningful, invite advice from people who have earned your trust and whose experience can genuinely help you improve. I once met someone with an incredible ability to spot business opportunities. His only problem was that he couldn't stop talking about them. Before he ever acted, everyone knew his ideas. And more than once, someone else moved first. He gave away his advantage by speaking before executing. Then there was another businessman who worked completely differently. He rarely discussed his projects. While others talked, he built. When his work was finally revealed, it was polished, complete, and impossible to ignore. He never needed to convince people with words because his results did it for him. That's an important principle to remember. Results are the strongest form of communication. Real achievements naturally attract attention without constant self-promotion. Keeping your plans private also protects something incredibly valuable: your focus. Every person you tell adds another opinion, another suggestion, or another distraction. Before long, your original vision becomes blurred by everyone else's ideas. Focus is one of your greatest assets. It allows you to direct your energy toward what truly matters without being pulled in countless directions. The fewer unnecessary voices influencing your journey, the easier it becomes to stay committed. Imagine what you could accomplish if you simply chose to work quietly, stay consistent, and allow your success to make all the noise. Imagine starting a business, chasing a personal goal, or building something creative without telling anyone. No constant updates, no search for approval, just quiet, consistent effort. How much more could you accomplish if all your energy stayed focused on the work instead of explaining it? That's the real strength of moving in silence. It gives you the freedom to grow without the pressure of outside expectations. Keeping your plans private isn't about hiding from people. It's about protecting your attention, your momentum, and the early stages of your vision. Every dream begins small, and those first steps are often the most fragile. When you give your goals the space to develop, they become stronger before they're tested by opinions, criticism, or distractions. Working quietly also builds a different kind of confidence. You're no longer relying on applause to stay motivated. Instead, you trust yourself to finish what you started. That inner confidence allows you to keep moving even when progress is slow, because your commitment comes from within, not from the approval of others. The most inspiring people are rarely the ones who talk the most. They're the ones who quietly stay disciplined until the results become impossible to ignore. Their success isn't built on promises, it's built on action. When they finally reveal what they've created, it carries real weight because it's backed by effort, consistency, and persistence. As you move forward, try a different approach. The next time you set an important goal, resist the temptation to announce it. Write it down, make a clear plan, and begin taking action one step at a time. Let each day of focused work move you closer to the life you want. Remember, true success doesn't need constant attention. It grows quietly through discipline, patience, and consistent effort when no one is watching. Protect your vision, stay committed to the process, and allow your achievements to become your introduction. In the end, people won't remember what you planned to do. They'll remember what you actually accomplished. And that's where lasting success is truly built. You don't need to announce your dreams to make them real. Protect your vision, stay focused, and let your daily actions build the future you desire. In time, your results will speak louder than any words ever could. If this message inspired you, be sure to like, subscribe, and see the Daily Principle for more timeless wisdom that helps you grow, succeed, and become your very best.